makkelijker. Zo, ik zal hem straks al zo in doen. Blijft hij? Nee, hij zit gewoon.
Hey, niks daarvan.
Yes.
Ik heb hem op een linkje bij die laatste post gezet. Maar
Hier is de
ik heb hem nog niet als linkje, maar dat is misschien wel handig.
Blijf wel zo staan.
Ik weet niet of je er nog tijd voor hebt. Bij die berichtjes doet het maakt
Ja,
allemaal.
nee. Kira.
Alleen maar links
Zal er
erbij,
links.
want hij is al
Oh,
mee.
nee, dat is-
Hij is al daar.
Er zijn nu alles wat al gezegd.
Ja.
Oh, hier moet een omroeper staan. Oh. Waar moeten we staan? Door? Ja, goed. Moeten we door zitten.
Ja, dat zie ik al.
Ja, hier even die dingen op en dan hier door.
Ja, dat komt niet in beeld.
Dat gaan we zo doen.
Stroom op? Nee.
Maar deze moet ook. Doet hij het nou ook niet? Oh,
Nou gaat hij wel. Die staat
Die
ook
staat
aan.
aan.
Ja?
Hoe jij hem
Shit, die zit er wel. Oh, heb je hem in een andere? Ik had hem in deze. Die aan. Ja. Goedemiddag dames en heren, welkom hier bij de live presentatie van de HIGHFIELD-AUCTIONS. We gaan vandaag een 20-tal veulens aan u presenteren. 19 springgerevens en 1 dressuur gefokt veulen. Een bijzonder gekleurd veulen en die zal als laatste in de ring komen. De eerste mag binnenkomen. We zullen deze live presentatie op YouTube live uitzenden. Omdat we ook buitenlandse gasten aanwezig hebben. En met name ook via de livestream buitenlandse gasten gaan kijken. En via YouTube is het ook terug te krijgen. Zullen wij de beschrijving van de veulens ook in het Engels doen. Het eerste veulen in de ring. Today we're going to start with the full presentations of the HIGHFIELD-AUCTIONS. First of all, it's a very nice filly. It is born in July. So this is the youngest one we have and the only one from July. So this is a very nice filly with a top type. There's a modern type. She's really nice attitude, very good eye in it. This one is a special bred by the super sire Mosito van het Helhof. It's a famous Belgian bred. It's an upcoming sire. He has all the rankings now with his first offspring, who is almost 10 years old. But they in the top level of all the sport horses in the world is Mosito, our upcoming star. But his mother, this is a real mother. This is a beautiful mare, and she is also the mother of an approved stallion. An approved stallion, Sangsera. He was at 7 years old at the World Championships in Lana, and he did a really good performance. And because he was so good at that performance, he is sold to America. And now he's jumping in America, but not at the highest level at the moment. He is an upcoming star. So in the future, you will be heard by the direct son of this mare. But the grandmother of this foal, it is a really special mare. This mare gives 5 approved stallions. 4 of them competed at 140 till 160 level. That's an unbelievable high score for a brood mare. A brood mare is used as a normal, natural way of fertility. But also the third mother of this super nice filly was one. So the direct mother gives a super 7 years old. The second mother gives 4 top horses at 140, 160 level, and the third mother give also 4 mares, 4 offspring at the highest level. If you want to start a top breeding or a super career in the sport, you have to buy this one. This is one by Mosito van het Helhof, Chirivel, Balou de Rouen, and then the big Ramiro Z. The next one is coming, and his name, because it is a colt, it's a stallion. He is born in the middle of June, and his name is Sino MB. It's a very strong and tough colt. He's young. He has the power to gonna be a big one. His mother is 4 years old. And the total pedigree of this one is Extreme 111, then Elton, then the very famous Quickstar, Nimbledore, Notaris, and then the line of Sina, the famous model line, one of the famous model line in the Netherlands. The father, Extreme 111, is 8 years old by El Baron, and he shows his power, he shows his blood with his owner, Sergio Alvarez Moya. And now he is competing at 140 level because he is starting his career at international level like at the beginning of this year. But the father of the mother, it's El Toreo. 60 with the Brazilian Bernardo Alvarez. He was a top stallion and a top sport horse, but he has passed away in the beginning of his career at 160 level. And of Belgium and upcoming stars now. And if you look to this foal, he trots so easy, so powerful, with so much natural balance. And his attitude are always uphill. But it is not the only thing. This mother line, this is a 4-year-old mother, but her mother, it is Bursina, it is the grandmother of the colt, and was an extremely good one. She gives a 160 horse, but also a 145 horse and the 150 horse, the winning Eldorado. There are 3 horses at 145 till 160 level, but then there are 2 more. They're at 135 and 140 level. So the second mother, then 135 till 160. And she is the mother of a dynasty of show jumpers. She gives 4 horses at 155 till 160 class. And 4 horses of 140 level. So there are 8 horses in totally between 140 and 160 level. If you like to be top sport or a stallion prospect with a top combination like Extreme 111, El Toreo de Muse and Quickstar, you can find it in this one. This is a top, strong, good confirmation colt. At the 4th of September, then the biddings are start of the auction, and they ended at Monday the 7th of September, 8 o'clock European time. The next one is a super nice filly. We found them in Belgium. It is one of the most impressive fillies. She's very young. She is in the middle of June. And she called the name Euphoria. Look at this model and this type. This is a so nice one. She is young, but she had a big size. This is by the very young, 7 years old, 8 years old Ecclestone. It is a top talent star. Smallest. He is starting his international career at the moment with so much technique, so carefulness, and so much quality at the fence. But also this mother is by For Pleasure, and For Pleasure has been so grateful, valuable for the show jumping sport at the moment. There are so many impressive pleasure offering, like for Fred, Flora de Moripose, for Joy, all top performers with the far For Pleasure, but also like started with a full pleasure mother, like Excellence de la Brie, Souterrain de la Pole, Derlichwin de la Muse. They all full pleasure mothers like this one, and they start a super career as a brood mare. But this mare shows that she brings three fillies spring at 140 and when to 150 level with the Canadian Irene, but also the one Fin 3 with a German rider Andre Wesseler at 135 class. But also at the Grand Dame is she performed with a 160 horse. It is cornered feet, it's a 160 horse, and also the approved stallion Commander Baloo. They all out of this for pleasure mother. Look at the type of this super nice filly, but also had athletic movements. The light way he moves. It is so impressive that we can auction this one in our Highfield auctions. Jules, ga maar langs de kant staan. The next one is also a colt, a chestnut colt out of a 5-year-old mare. His name is Weraminko MB. It's born in the beginning of June, and it's by Carrera VDL, out of a mother of Cornet de Lis, Mr. Blue, Inductro, and the thoroughbred Earthbound. This one is a strong and tough colt. He is well balanced in his movements. You can see in the future. Look at his eye. He's watching the area. His father, Carrera VDL, he jumped at the highest level, and he is, with his genetics valuable, he's extremely as an upcoming star. He brings it with offspring like Carabella of Oda Charlotte Lingard, Kentucky from Jeroen Dubbeldam, but also Mr. Yup from Yuri Mansour. There are some examples of his offspring who are competing at the highest level at the moment. This mother by Cornet de Lis. Cornet de Lis was with the amateur rider Jose Maria La Roca, and he had an impressive palmarès. He was also jumping at the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. But this young mare, the 6-year-old mare, is the half-sister of King London's Diamond. He competed at 135 class with many different riders. Her mother was a Mr. Blue mare, who was one in the best in the test as a young horse in the Netherlands. And she is a sister of many more other people, other horses competed at 140, 150 class. After that, there is a Grand Prix mare, and it is called by Minka's Diamond. And Minka Diamond was third in the Nations Cup of Falsterbo. She was placed in the Dairy of Eindhoven, but she was also placed in the Grand Prix of The Hague and also in Potsdam. So she was a mare. She jumped in all over the world and all the classes, and she started a really good career as a brood mare. She is on the base of more horses at 140, 145 class, but also the Grand Prix horses Barcelona, Araminca, Genève, Diamond of Minka. They all coming out of the same mother line. I like this. This is a strong and balanced colt with a third dam who's jumping at Grand Prix level. With an excellent sport performance is almost guaranteed with this young colt. The next one is a filly. It's a filly and called Wina Loni MB. It's born in the middle of May. Super nice chestnut filly. Look at the attention. He looks to the people. This is a very modern type of filly. He has a really good athletic and actually the strut and the canter, they are so light. This is a modern type of a show jumper in the future. The father of this filly, it is Don't Touch TG Hero. And then it is Amadeo van het Voshof. It's a younger stallion. He's 8 years old, Amadeo, and he was competing at 150 level. But he has in his pedigree the super blood of Ascazet and Carthago. They combined with the Loma stam. After that line, there's a Voltaire. There we have numbers. So the pedigree is Don't Touch TG Hero, Amadeo, Voltaire, and Nimerdor. Don't Touch TG is a son of the Amant out of that special Chin Chin mare. And that mother was Chinatown. She gives Akaret Hero, Diamond Touch, Esprit de la Roque, Jaguar de Tigi, and King of Chinatown. They all brothers and sisters of Don't Touch. But Don't Touch is also the father of the very famous Durkan Hero. And the first crop of Don't Touch are at international 160 level. So he is starting his career as a really good sire for show jumping horses. This mother of the filly is 6 years old, and she gives now her second foal. And after this foal, she's gonna start her sport career. Because we have let him free jump this mare, and she have all the quality you need in a modern show type horse. It's the mare Pacaloni, and she was an older mare, but she was in switch with Steve Gedda, the father of Steve Gedda. But that was not the only thing she did. She went after that her career. She started as a pro, and she brings the 150 horse in America, and that 150 horse was the winner of the little final in the World Championships in Lanaken. Look at the filly, the movements, how you see, the way he jumped, the way he do his canter. That grandmother, that was for Pacaloni at 140 level, but she was also the full sister of Gilles Terre, that international horse of Michael Whittaker. And she produced the 150 horse in America, but also now the 7 years old Paco Delono MB at 140 level, and as a 7 years old, and he was at the Belgian Youngster Cup. He was at the finals, and now he's going to prepare him for the World Championships at the 7 years old in Lanaken. But that after that Voltaire mare was also an Aloni, and that was a Nimerdor mare who gives 6 horses. So every generation of this filly produced highest level sport horses. If you want to start a breeding or a top sport breeding brood mare, you can find with this all what you need in a modern type of filly. But we have more fillies, like the gray one who is coming now. The gray one named Dory Killy, and it is in the end of the name the same like the superstar of Sakili. The total pedigree of this one is Dorian Gray, Tilo van Heffing, Concorde, Lucky Boy, and then Fawn. The super nice looking gray filly is born in the middle of May. Father Dorian Gray is a son of Dominator, and it's a young son of Dominator. But now he's jumping in the stables of Jeroen Doubledam. Annelies Vasselmans is competing now from this year, and he is starting very good. He showed his quality events, and he showed them all. And this is the start of a top horse who is beginning in 2 years at 160 level, I think. After that, you had a trio. A trio is a combination of Clinton and Heartbreaker. The success combination. Nubian rider Edgar Escalone Menzies. But there are two more who had jumping wins at 130, 135 in France. The line had a lot of produced offspring in France and is now coming to Holland because this is a really good one. In the third line, the third Bokele. And Bokele, who was a lucky boy mare who jumped 150 level with Eugène Angot. And she had the silver medal with the French team in 1991. But she had also an individual fourth place at the championship in 1991. But also the fourth mother was Sakili, and she jumped at 135 in that time. But she was more famous as the mother at 160 horses, Zargo from Amy Hendricks. That was her most famous offspring. But as a granddam, she produced the 160 horses, Turbo with Jos Lansing and Ludo Philippas, VDL Kalusha with Jur Vreeling, Kaspar with Bart Clarice, Tornado from Ludo Philippas, but also the 150 horses, Jesper from Jelmer Hoekstra, Saint-Tropez from Nico van Plaatsen, Rapper R from Rogier Linsen, but also Ultimo van Andres Knipling. So this line had in all the lines, in the third and the fourth, many international show jumpers. And this mother and also her second mother are young in breeding, but her offspring are still coming up. So if you want to get a super filly for breeding or maybe sport careers, with the Sakeli line, you had a top dam line, and with this filly, you had a strong one with strong behind and balanced in his movements, and the start of beginning of a career by Jeroen Doubledam, who know the exact line and also other. The next one is something special. Not only the filly is coming in the auction at Monday, but also the mare is coming as a brood mare in the auction at 6 September. But we start at the filly. The filly, it is a super nice one. It is such a top type. It's so nice looking, a modern type, perfect conformation. But then the mother line. It's a genetic pearl, and it is really close related to the Olympic It's bred by Willy Wijnen in Holland. So this filly is by the great Colestis. Colestis is the father of the world champion Greya, but not also only Greya, also Chuck Marshoff, winner of the world of the global champions in Shanghai and Madrid, but also Shalagan Cachet van Janne Friedrich Maya, Colestis Cambridge, and many more Colestis offspring are coming up and winning all the Grand Prix. This mother is by Shanty's champion, and that one was the winner of the Global Champions Tour in Valkenswaard. After Colestis champion, we find Heartbreaker and Albert de Rouen. That Heartbreaker mare was Zarina 3, and she is the half-sister of Explosion. But not only the half-sister of Explosion, she is the mother by herself of Iron Dame's Michael Jackson. And that one's competing and definitely winning with Richie Vogel and Sophie Hinners. Iron Dame's Michael Jackson was winning with Richard Vogel in America in the winter for many Grand Prix. And now in the European countries is now winning with Sophie Hinners. But she produced more, and they all sisters of this mother, brothers of this mother. The approved stallion Liamont is jumping at 135 class with Sibyl Leons. Mariette Hoekstra at 135 class, starting uphill. That's highest class you can jump at 8 years old. She was at 6 years in the finals of the World Championships in Larnaca. But also the approved stallion Rising Blue. He was winning of the stallion competition at 25, is also a brother of this mare. With this close related line to Olympic champion of Ben Mayer, Explosion, you had something really special, because the mother of Explosion and the grandmother of this line was also jumping at 160 level. So if you want to have genetic pearl, you find a filly with Colestis, Heartbreaker, Balloba, point with the mother line of Explosion. A second dam, the half-sister of Explosion, and the first dam, the mother of the filly, the half-sister of 3 top international winners. You can buy this. The mother, it is Sharina MBW. It's a combination of Willy Weine and Highfield Genetics. She is in full of the top young stallion VDM Lady Killer. And that's a top stallion by Charu, out of the only daughter of Killer Queen. Queen is by Eldorado. So this is a genetic pearl with the line of Lady Killer, the line of Explosion, combined with in the filly with Colestis and in the mare with Heartbreaker and Baloo Bear. What do you want more for a filly or a brood mare like this? But we have not only fillies, we have also colts. Very good colts. Look at this modern type colt. And look in a few seconds to his well-balanced movements. They are really light. But look at his character. He's also a very intelligent. He's looking the place there is, and he's looking what he's going on. This one is Cotton Eye Joe by Chaco Blue II. And Chaco Blue II was the famous stallion of Luciana Vinis, jumping at the highest level. But later, it was the Brazilian Santiago Lambre. He's winning more than $500,000 prize money. It's not only Chaco Blue Try. We're all Chaco Blue out of Kit Dam de Revel. The mother is by Kit Dam de Revel, the legendary sire in show jumping. Titan de Revel and then Holsteiner Corofino won. Cassini won. And then Caratino. Combined with the French. And then she's grandmother of B1s. And B1s is the 160 horse of Lucas Porter. And he wins a lot of big Grand Prix. So this mother brings a 140 horse and is grandma of B1s and Grand Prix winner at highest level. The second is Cocu. And she gives more children 135, 150 class. Sublime is jumping 150 at 8 years old with Rowan Willis. The third mother is Goanda. She's a Grand Prix horse herself. And not only a Grand Prix horse, she did the World Cup with Cone. And also Caesar Grand Prix. So every line Grand Prix horse. And with this gold, you can start a new career. He is well balanced. He is smart. With the third mother, who is Grand Prix at 160. With a mother who gives her 140 horse and a Grand Prix horse as a granddam. With sire, Chaco Blue is a French bred combined with the Holsteiner lines Madame de Revel of France, Corfino, Cassini, and Caratino.
Nog niet.
Philippe een Amerikaan. Braziliaan.
And then we had something special. It is bred in Sweden. But we have two out of the same. They are both with a surrogate mare. So this is not the natural mother, this is a surrogate mother. Because this is something special. That mare was a 140 horse by herself, a winner. This colt is by Camille, a real Camille Faux. A super nice type. You can see. Look at how he's watching the world in. He knows exactly what to do here. This is a full pedigree of Chaco Blue, Sander van der Stuvel, Pasha de and Fleury de Manoir. It's completely Belgian bred except Camille Faux. But Camille Faux is something really special. It is, I think, in a couple of years, the #1 of the world breeding rankings for many years. If you see how many offspring of Camille Faux is coming up now. If you see Olympic champion like Schechter, Carla, Choney, Chaco Lee, Clear Round, and more. One of the best Camille Faux. Martina van der Zoethoven. And she could van het Kastanjehof. And that's a Belgian mare. But that Belgian mare was winner at the 5 years old competitions in Sweden. She performed also very well at the World Championship as a 5 years old. But after, when she was a little bit older, she jumped at 140 class, almost in Sweden, with many different riders, and she wins a lot of competition. A lot of 140 classes she wins. She was one of the famous mares at 140 level. The name Bo Castagnov, and he won with Andrew Wellis in Tryon. He was second in Wellington, but also third place in Lexington, Wellington, and Tryon again, and many more places at his palmarès. But also the Grand Dame in the Pasteur mare was a mother for 140 horses, and even as a Grand Dame, she has a lot of valuable. She gives 5 140 till 150 class horses. She's direct horse, but many more of her daughters gives she 5 140 150 horses. So every generation gives top class horses. If you like to have something for stallion prospect with a very nice looking and good sized comme il faut, then you can have buy this out of a 140 class mare by herself with many 140, 50 and 160 horses in the pedigree. Then the last 2 fillies we have in our auction. This one is named Sarina MB. She is born in the beginning of May. It's a filly with nice type, with length in the body, but especially the movements. Yeah, light, modern, strong behind, well balanced. It's a super modern type horse out of a very good line. We have in every generation a mother who jumped at sport by herself. This mother, a direct mother, started her career, but she got an injury, and that's the reason why she had no results at her palmarès. But that she was a special horse with top technique. All the scope of the world, we showed it in a video at the website. She did free jumping and a way you only can dream. Sunday, also the mother of Cashfade and Cordial. And Sunday showed when he was 8 years old in all the qualities at Jeroen de Winter at 140 level. But also as a 6 and a 7 years old, he was in his stallion competition and young stock competitions, a really stallion who performed in the first places. But with Andiamo, Almost Prince and Ramville in the mother line, they are all jumped at 160 level. The first crop of this mother Garena MB showed with a lot of quality, and that's for example a son at 7 years old. It is with Ann-Sophie Oskarsson, one of the best horses at the 7 years classes in Sweden. But all the other offspring of this mare are sold to all the places in Europe. All the international shows jumping stables have something out of this mare, because this mare breeding is so good. The second mare, Pavilio, she was a real winner at 130 classes, but she was also the mother of the 140 horses, Sirena and Darena MB. After that, she was a Grand Dame of the 160 horses, Nerino, Eldorenos, and Narino, but also a 3 stars eventer Easy Reina MB. Third mother by Ranville was a 140 class horses and winner at that level, but also the mother of the 160 horse Kevin, and he jumped in Italy. The fourth mother was also the mother of the 160 horse Mr. It and the 150 horse Darena 2. If you like to have a top career horse for sport, or you want to have start with a new breed, then is this filly something with an outcross bloodline with all the type and the movements you need for a modern sport horse. This is the last filly. The last filly we have. The rest are all colts. But this one is maybe something they get all. She named We Touch Vinia MB. She is born in the beginning of May. She has the size, she has the type, and especially she has the movements. In her pedigree, it is the same stallion we have before. It is Don't Touch TG Hero, out of a mother by Indoctro. Then Grosso and the thoroughbred for the show jumping Abgar. This filly is the sister of the 160 Gelvinia, but also the 145 Calvinia. So her mother produced two. Father Don't Touch, the Can Hero, combined the combination of Diamant de Simile and Chin Chin, but especially the combination with his mother Elvinia MB. She had a high score at the performance test at 3 years old, and she belongs to the best 10 mares of the Netherlands, but especially in her offspring. The two I said were international show jumpers, but also Michael Vinia MB. She scored at the KWPN inspection 90 points for free jumping, and that's the one highest score ever given in Holland. And she belongs to the best 3 horses at that year of the Netherlands. In Great Britain. The second mother is Sylvinia. She brings the approved stallion Nix Vinio MB, and he won the test of performance 3 years old in Sweden with a 10 for free jumping. But Sylvinia was the full sister of Havinia, and she was for many years the horse of the year of Italy. She jumped and won many Grand Prix in the world. Also the Grand Prix in Holland of Geesteren. But she was maybe the best performance in a palmarès at the 4th place at the World Championships in Jerez de la Frontera. With this super line by Havinia, they are not only Havinia, they are also the line of Elex, the super jumper with McLean Ward and at the moment with Marlon Zanotelli. But also Gelvinia, Kivinia, Covinia, Xenius. He was the number 1 at the world breeding rankings in 2018 for 2 years. Also Vinia Venet Venhoff, VDL Group Alexia, and there are so many more in this line who competed at 150 level, and they are all close related to this one. But this top filly, with his type, with his movements, has 2 sisters, 160 horse and 145 horse. But that 145 horse was also at the 3rd place at the Dutch Championships in 2025. So they are well performed, direct out of that same mother, Elvinia. Then we have a couple of colts, and they all have the prospect to be a stallion, an approved stallion, in 2.5 years. The first one is a Waterford Sindo MB. This one is coming out of the line of H&M Extra by Ludo Philippas, but more coming out of this. He is born in the end of April. This one is black and brown, but in the end he will be gray, I think. The father of Watson is Mindset. Mindset is a 9 years old, talented son of Aganix de Seigneur. His blood, his carefulness, and his powerful canter, and his really much copy, he showed it as a young stallion when he was 5 years old. When he was 5 years old, he was the third place at the World Championships in Larnaca. So he was one of the best 5 years old horse of the world at that moment. But now, he is at one as a Nigel. And Denmark, he takes a place in Maastricht. He takes the fourth and the fifth place. And London and Rotterdam, he is starting a top career with Jelmer Hoekstra. And there are coming many more wins in the future. And that's not a surprise, because his mother of Mindset jumped at 145 class also. And out of that line, the direct mothers, is coming the top stallion, Plot Blue, with Marcus Ening. But also Baby Luna of Yuri Mansour. They're coming out the direct line of Mindset. The father of the mother is Cornado, because the full pedigree is Mindset, Dr. Concorde. And Cornet Obelensky is as a spot horse, but more just as a father. So the number of offspring jumping in all the competitions in the world. And that gives him the world breeding ranking of sires in the world. Take a look to legendary show jumpers as Clooney, Cornet d'Amour, Casual, Cornetto, Comme Il Faut, Colestis, Balou de Ravaton, and Cornado. They're all examples of sons who are making the whole career of show jumping. But this mother is a 4 years old mare, and she is showed a very much talent. And she is full sister of the 140 horses in Ireland, Nice with Alan O'Regan and Kubelensky with Grant Graham. But then she is also a sister of the 150 horses, Hucinta and Identique. So 4 of brothers and sisters. The third mother is and it's called Picinda. She gives the 160 horse and of H&M Extra with Ludo Philippas. He had the wins at the 5-star in Rome, Barcelona, and Splash Meadows. But also the international show jumpers has more than Extra. Cetus 8, number 1, 4th, Gluck. But also approved stallions and international show jumpers Conductro, Mo Wolensky. They have all Pucenda as the Grand Dam. So for sport, a really good choice is this. Movements, a talented mother, top performer, and upcoming star Mindset in the combination of Cornet Obelensky and a really strong dam line. That could be something for stallion prospect, but also for a career in sport in the end. And that Highfield auction choose for sport in the auction. That's definitely, and you see it in the folds and in the pedicures. But this one make it maybe just more special, because this is William van Hees, and it's bought born in the end of May. This is a Chaco Blue out of a Baloubert de Rouen. And this stallion is coming out of the direct line of Ratina Z. And that name we called before, and that was the mare of his family. So this is Chaco Blue, Baloubert de Rouen, Caratano Z, Kelvin Z. Chaco Blue was years the number one of the world rankings, but now he's standing at the number 3. But with all that of there's no style who have more influence in the whole modern sport breeding of show jumping. Many examples of a good Chaco Blue. I can say Corner Blue, Chaco's Girl, Hello Chef, Lady, Blue Movie, Kenjan, Chalou. There's some examples of a Chaco Blue. But then the mother, Balou van Overis by Baloubert de Rouen, gives a 145 horse by herself. It's called Berluca HL. He jumped 145 class with Hugo Tavares from Portugal. But also Chaco HL is the son of her, and he is at 7 years at 135 level. But the fourth mare is Ganafe, and she is a daughter of the 160 mare Hurricane Z. Hurricane Z is the granddam of Ratina Z, and she is on the base of the dynasty of show jumping horses like Comme il faut, Ratina Z, Call Me the Muse, Renommé, and Sterrenhof Cayano. Herself is bringing 145 and 150 horses like Rubel and Caraloco. With this attitude, with this tough colt, with an easy way of moving, you can have something for stallion approved, but also for a top career. But with this model line by Ratina Z, by sires like Chaco Blue, by Baloubert de Rouen, you can find something for the approvals in a couple of years. Huh? Ja, ik heb nog. Ja. Nou red ik wel. Ja, maar dadelijk ik klaar ben. So we have not only special ones like Chaco Blue and Baloubert, but we have also a special one like Katoki. The next one is a Katoki, out of that famous Swedish mare I said by the Comme il faut. This is a colt Katoki, Thunder van de Zoethoven, Pascha 2, Fleury de Manoir, and this one named Calibri d'Amour. Look and enjoy this type. This is a super modern type of colt. And then when he moves, the way how he do it, so easy, so light. It's a sport horse for the future. But not only a sport horse. With this type and with this pedigree, you can have also a stallion prospect. Yeah, that father Katoki, it was a 5-star winner. But his great and famous son, Hermitage Cologne, he is winning and he's placed at all the Grand Prix in the world. He is starting more than definitely find someone like this model with this movement. And then, if it is out of our mare, which jumped 140 by yourself, by Thunder van de Zoethoven, and a champion as a 5 years old in Sweden, you can only dream. But you can dream, but this one you can buy. Look at how this horse can move. So easy, so well balanced. Ja, dat dice van het Kastanjehof show the quality as a 5 years old, winning in Sweden, winning with a lot of horses in Sweden, all the 140 classes there. Then the full sister of her was Bo van het Kastanjehof. He was winning the ones in America. The them with horses at 150 class. The third mother, the Fleury de Manoir, she's also a mother of a 140 horse and also a grandam of a 140. So only a lot of performers at the highest classes with quality. This is Stallion Prospect with a very rare Katoki, a 140 mother by herself, who was a winner as a 5 years. And then the way how he moved, so easy, so light. This is a modern type. This is a future approved stallion, I believe. The next one is born in the beginning of May. It's by the super sire, Eldorado van de Zeshoek. But then a Chin mother, Zeus, Nimmerdoor, and the very good thoroughbred Courville. This is a Eldorado Chin top sport and stallion prospect. Look at the way he gonna be moved. Yeah, the father Eldorado. You don't want to miss him in breeding. He gives an absolute numbers of show jumpers. For example, Grandorado, Gangster van het Noordveld, Highway, Electric Blue, and Killer Queen. They are so valuable for show breeding. But then this mother is by Chin, and Chin is an example you also want to have in your breeding. Chin mothers are so very successful. For example, like Usha van het Roosakker, Queerly Chin, Tabelle van het Sombeek, sent out the Chin mothers. At 130 class now, but in the end he will be. There's a pro stallion Ormantico coming thus so directly out of this mare. But then that second mare, it is Falandria. And Falandria by the super sire Zeus. And Zeus in the motherline is very rare to have. But this have them both. Eldorado, Chin and Zeus. Yeah, that Zeus Mary, Falandria. She is on the basis of many 145 till 160 horses. As direct mother of Stubbs, who wins the second place in the GP of Cannes. With Will Skeleton, Jalandria, the 150 horse by Emilion with Henk van der Poel. Olandria with 145 class by Kitan de Revel. But also as a grandam, she gives a lot of 145 and 155 horses, like Universo van Maud van Roosendaal, Cor de Emilion met Henk van der Poel. He also win the Derby of Eindhoven. Amai van der Molendreef with Harry Charles. Lolandri van Sanne Thijssen. Philandri van Daniel Ryder, Skilandria van Emma Stoker, Unbreakable, Double D's, many more, many more. Horses at the highest level, 1 till 160. And then a combination with Eldorado, Chin, and Sois. But look at the movements, so strong behind, so easy. A fantastic second mother, a first mother, a second mother, and a third mother, who gives so many good performance. With this model and this type of this way of movement, it is a stallion prospect, but definitely a sport horse. The next one is from a young stallion. It is a Tiger van het Ruitershof, out of an Action Breaker mother. Then numero uno. This one is born in the beginning of May, but look at this type. What a good size. What a long legs. Look at this tiger. Tiger van het Ruitershof. He is 7 years old, and he is the talent of Harry Smulders. He is a son of Chuck Fly, and then we had Chaco Blue again. But it is a Chuck Fly out of Pearl van het Ruitershof. And Pearl van het Ruitershof is the full sister of Pegase van het Ruitershof. And with the influence of 4 approved stallion, Pegase going to be a new star in world breeding. Looking back at Katina van het Ruitershof, and she is the mother by Emerald, and not only Emerald, also the 160 horse Diamantina van het Ruitershof, Illusionata van het Ruitershof, Nixon van het Ruitershof, Pipetta van het Meulenhof, all coming out of the same line as Tiger van het Ruitershof. This mother by Action Break. Class by herself, and she was from Action Breaker. And Action Breaker is that famous 160 horse for many years of Sergio Alvarez Moya, the Spanish rider who wins two wins in the 5-star of Barcelona, but also a second place at the 5-star of Cannes, the third place in the GP of Aachen. They all of Action Breaker. This mare, who competing 135 class as a 7 years old. After her 135 class, she is going to start a career as a broodmare, and that was very successful because her first son is 7 years old and competing at the highest level is impossible as 7 years. It's 140 class, and look at the video of that one, because that has so much talent. And it is a direct son out of this mare. But this mare of this foal have a third mother who jumped 150 by herself. And not only jumping, he was winning with Jeroen Dubbeldam. He was winning with Zuping Huyan, but also with Jen Bei. All winnings in the GP of Beijing. And many more in China. All winning and competing at 150 class, and that is the third mother of this colt. With such a nice type, with such a easy way of movement, with so many performance in the dam line, with so outcross dam line sires, with Tiger, with Action Breaker, with numero uno, you get something really special. But when you see at the fourth mother, its play mouth, She is the mother of two 155 class horses, one 150 horse. Then she had a 140 horse and a 145 horse. So there are five horses competing at 140 till 155 class. So every generation of this has 150 class horses. With this nice type, with this way of movements, you get by something really special. Yeah, and then the next one. He is from the end of March. His name, Ovation Z. And if we talk about mother lines, and you know that this mother is the half sister of Peter de Vos, Jarina's G, then you know that sport is really in this performance pedigree. This gold is by the young stallion Onasistien, and he is 7 years old by Gran Dorado. And he is now starting with his owner Melvin Greveling in his international class. He's jumping at 135, 140 class. With his balance, with his canter, his combination of technique and carefulness, he's gonna be a future 5-star show jumping horse in the future. But probably also as a breeding horse, because this one is an example of how you have to move, how you have to perform, how you have to show it in the ring. Then mother father is O'Neill van der Bisschop, and that one was winning, competing and winning at 8 years old age at 145 class with Mario Deslauris. With a win and more placements in Wellington, Florida, he was busy to be a great career. But in that career, he got a big injury and he passed away. On the end, the quality of O'Neill van der Bisschop is coming off in his offspring. And that's not a special thing, because the mother beating horse of Peter de Vos with winnings in Chantilly, in Shanghai, and in Barcelona was the win sum of Jarina more than 500,000. And also the half-sister Secret Love from the Wonderland was at the base of many more international show jumpers. So this 5 years old sister, mother of this foal, is the half-sister of Jarina. And she won with Peter de Vos more than 500,000. She was the winner of the Grand Prix of Amsterdam, of Wenen. She was second in Oslo. She was third in Cannes, and many more. But then the third mother, the third then, Railma, what makes the 160 horse Everest. And she was in many Grand Prix, was placed. And she did really performed in Scandinavian. And she was also the one, she gave also the 140 horse, Zilma and Havelty. She was Grand Dame of the 150 horse Grand Cooper from PS Switzer. The fourth mother, that was Wilma, by the sire Farren. And she is especially famous as the Grand Dame of the 160 horse Orchidee van Steve Gada, but also Lucanar van Berggraaf van Gabor Grunter. With this model line, there is sport guaranteed because every generation have sport. Every generation jumped at the highest level. With this strong and well-balanced movements, with this good confirmation, you can buy a guarantee for sport, and be sure.
is goed. Hè?
Ja. Hij is heel zelfverzekerd ook. Hè? Hij is zelfverzekerd en zoekt zijn eigen weg. Het is geen plakker. Ik hou ervan.
Goeie achterkeren.
Ja. Precies. Daarom zei ik dus over sterk.
Ja. Het is al een goede kapsel.
Zeker. Then we're going to start with the last two calls. And the last one is a special dressage. These have a pedigree with 4 sport mares at the raw. His name is Michigan BMZ. He is born in the beginning of April. Look at this top model. A really good model. This one is by My Lord Carthago. Then Elvis Terputte. We had 2 super sires in the front. Father My Lord Carthago was very successful at the highest level with but also as a breeding stallion. He is now at the World Breeding Championships with offspring like Dexter de Kelligan, with Vertigo du Désert, Timo Duar, and Bingo du Parc. He has an enormous valuable for the show jumping breeding in the future. This super nice has a mother who's jumped at 130 level when she was 6 years old. That is the highest level for 6 years old. But then there was Corona, and her career is stopped, and she is starting a breeding career. And that was very successful because her first crop is a 6 years old son, and he is winning the Youngster Cup in Belgium. So the first crop is direct a successful one, a winner at the 6 years old Youngster Cups. But the Grand Dam was jumping at 135 class. Especially, she was successful as a mother. She is the mother of the most expensive star. He sold for 160,000 euro for 5 years old. But okay, his third mother jumped at 145 again. She gives a lot of 140 and many 145 horses. And that's not so special because the fourth mother, she performed at 150 level by herself. But also as a mother, she was successful. She gives 3 160 horses, 1 155 and 2 140 and 145 class horses. So the fourth mother, she jumps 150 by herself, but she produced 5 horses at 140 till 160 horses and 3 at 160 by herself. If you like to have to be a stallion prospect, with My Lord Carthago, with Elvis the Putter, with a type like this, with the movements so light, and 4 sport mares at a raw, you don't have to look, you can buy this one. With My Lord Carthago, Elvis the Putter, and so many sport mares at a raw, you get something really special. Maar echt geluk mee, hè?
Zo'n mooie beweging.
Echt goeie. Echt goeie. Ja.
En even springen.
Ja, precies. Ja, daarom dus. Then the last stallion, the last colt for show jumping. It is Well Dorado and is born in the end of March. This is out of the Golden Cross Eldorado for pleasure. And with this nice type, with this size, you had almost an approved stallion. That Eldorado makes a lot of good show jumpers, like Eddie Blue, like Grandorado, like Gangster van der Noordenveld. He get an influence in the show breeding of the breeding of show jumpers. But then in the combination of for pleasure, it gives also Electric Blue, Killer Queen, and H5 Contador. They all out of the same combination, Eldorado van de Zeshoek, out of a for pleasure mother. But for pleasure mothers gives more. They give a lot of them, like Excellencia de Muse and all what I said before. Is 5 years old. Her mother was Dirola by Indoctor. And also this mother have offspring who jumped at 150 level with an age of 9 years old. So they were very young and they competed at 150 level. First was it in Germany, and now he sold to America and he jumped again with Laura Gator at 150 class. But also the approved stallion, Elon, is jumping in Wellington and had 2 wins in the 135 class on the with Matthias Trump. But also the mare Kirola by Toulon is with Christian Houwe at 140 class successful. That third mother by Laron is Irola. She gives more 140 and 150 horses. But not only competing, they are all placed. So his chance with Ellison 150 level is Brooklyn with Johanna Whittaker and was G-Star with Lucien de Wachter in Belgium at 145 class. And then at 140 class, you had also Frontos. And that's not so special because the fourth mother by Ramiro jumped at 135 class by herself and is granddam of the 160 horse Sarantos, who won the Grand Prix of Amsterdam with Gert-Jan Breukink. Her mother was the Farn Mary Unique, and she was unique because she jumped at her time at 140 class by herself. If you see so nice type and the way how he moves a little bit flat, but that is a really efficient way of moving. And it's only in the time to win, you have only go to efficient and not to go in the sky. So this way is a typical way of moving like a cross of Eldorado and for pleasure. Nee, ik zie nou, vooral mijn eigen aangeleerd. Ik zie dat ik heb bij dit fokken. En die AL'tjes heb je helemaal. Ach, we doen ons best, hè. En dat je een euro kunt verdienen met Engels leren, hè. And then we had something really special. Not only the color, also his quality. This is the only dressage foal we sell. This one named Wabayang, and he is born in the beginning of May. Look at this one. This is something really Look at the eye of this. The way he's looking to the people. He liked the way, he liked the attention. And we like the way how he's gonna trot, how he do his scan. This one is by Total McLaren. Bon Bravoure, Lancet, and that's our Perry class. Is the 9-year-old son of the legendary Totilas. Totilas, the record breaking, he breaking every record was in the dressage world. So Total McLaren with Totilas, with De Niro and with Sandro head, you had all the big names in the dressage world in one stallion. And then that mother, there was a 6-year-old mother, and she showed at the Z2 class. But that there is performance in this class is at the second of the third run and the fourth then. But look and watch. Every movement is coming from behind. He's rising up in his body. He's rising up in his knees. He show his attitude. Look at how he keep his balance. This is not only a someone with color. This is a super dressage horse. And then he had a super color. That's the way how this is. If you want to buy something for the dressage world, you can buy this one. But this one is always a good sport horse. And if you want the attention from everybody, you have to be one. Look at this. When he is starting up, he's rising in his front. He's rising in his knees. He's always going strong behind. With a mother, who is the full sister of the Grand Prix horse Samber. You to enjoy when he is gonna trot. He is so behind. He is so good in his knees. With his wide legs, with his attitude. Look at this one. Doe maar een beetje vol, Bout. Een beetje blijven drukken. The way how he starts his canter, always behind, strong behind. He's gonna sit behind and then he's raised up in his front legs. So easy, so balanced. Is goed, Wout. Ja, dat weet ik, maar dan moet... Ja. Dan moet nog 1 keer doen. Hij moet meteen erachter. So that was the end of the full presentation. The biddings you can start at 4 September at the Friday and they end at the Monday at 7th. The day before is ending the embryo auction at the 6th of September. In the auction you can see what we have. There are a lot of auction, a lot of embryos out of top stallions. I want to thank you, everybody, for watching this here and at home. Thank you very much.